Barend, in today's breakdown, we're discussing the adoption of new AI technology in the recruiting space. And a topic that we are facing often with our customers or potential customers is the question, hey, should we build ourselves with all that technology that's currently available on top of our tech stack? Or should we incorporate existing technology or new vendors that are specializing in the AI domain to help us to build the ideal workflow or a setup of our recruiting tech stack? And that's a difficult topic, especially because this topic will always pop up, and this question will always pop up when new technologies arise.
Yeah.
And today I want to talk about your experience in that domain, and obviously want to zoom in on what your opinion is on that build or buy topic.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Build or buy.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because the question only pops up in times of innovation, right? Can you imagine in a boardroom right now having a discussion? We need project management software. Shall we build it or shall we buy it? Or we need to send emails. Shall we build our email client or shall we buy it? It's insane. But when there is innovation, that whole mindset change because it's a gold rush out there, right? And AI is going to change everything. And obviously, leadership, good leadership, is ahead of the curve. We talked about fundamental and incremental innovation before. Good leadership is thinking about fundamental innovation. And then, it becomes tempting to say, hey, we are so far ahead of the curve. There is nothing out there. Let's build technology ourselves instead of looking for vendors.
Yeah.
And the question is, what makes sense when, right? In what reality? I think it's really simple. If the technology you need is the clear differentiator for you as a company, so if you are a tech company, then it makes sense to build software yourself. If you use technology to facilitate an other process like recruitment, which is your core business, then only build if there is really no alternative. And and for me, it's easy to say this because if you look back in time, I mean, remember all those companies building their own applicant tracking system. I don't know any recruitment organization that still does that. So,
well, they are there, but they all regret it.
They hate it, and they're just trying to migrate. So, I think that's on a high level the buy or build discussion. But then there's obviously a discussion below, like then what do you do? How do you because it's not only like it's not always just buy or build. There's also a road in the middle, and that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, but I think it's also the mindset. If you make a decision now to if you look back in time, then and you extrapolate time and you look at today, obviously a lot of companies that have built solutions that are not into their core business, what you just explained. I think not many of those solutions that are built by companies themselves did survive. So, but we all go through that cycle over again and again and again and again. So there is a reason why companies currently are doing that. And what is that reason, you think?
I think one is you have ideas and there is no clear vision of the vendors out there yet. I mean, if you're looking for project management software, there are 1,000 websites that will guide you.
Yeah.
I think another thing is that it's before you can make a buy or build decision, you have to have clarity on what your company strategy is, right? Because the software should facilitate the company strategy. And what I see out there is that if leadership doesn't have a clear vision on how AI will impact their business, they just let people that love to play around with technology build stuff to see, what could work, and thinking that the flexibility that will come with that will help them in creating the strategy. So reversing the process as it should be.
Yeah,
I think where building little things yourself makes sense is integrating. So we have to move from an old paradigm to a new paradigm. There are systems in place, like your ATS, maybe your sourcing software, CRM software. You can't throw it away, which makes total sense. And then you have to create a layer between that and the new reality. So that's why you also see that organizations build themselves. But I think that that can make a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I just think if you zoom out, the innovation power of new technologies that have only that specific focus on solving that specific problem, the total bandwidth and the total compute and time that goes into solving that problem, it's so hard to match that when you're a company and that's not your core business.
Agree. If you, I mean, we've built a lot of software before, and if software is used not by 100 users but by 100,000 users, it's you have so much more business, so much more budget and capacity to build.
Yeah.
And what you also see happening, and I love it. I personally love it. There are a lot of no-code solutions out there right now, so you don't need to have a lot of technical skills to start building a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Connecting ChatGPT to your ATS. I mean, it's maybe 2 days work, and it works. The problem comes when you reach that point of fundamental innovation. If you then want to take the next step, that's when you need fundamental technology to enable that, and it's really hard to build that if that's not the core of your company.
I also think in the build or buy discussion, I think it also matters how high do you raise the bar, because if you look at currently what's happening, there are many companies that have pretty quickly built solutions that actually make the organization more efficient. For example, I have an ATS and I want to generate automatic job description based on conversations with candidates. I don't know, or with customers. Or hey, we want to create a candidate profile from a transcript, with ChatGPT. The issue is not that it works, because we are now impressed by, hey, an LLM can actually do something that is pretty impressive. But the question is, do you get it on the level that it really works at scale and that it's sustainable? Because if I look what the output is of those initiatives, it is much faster and better than a human would do it. But it's on 60% of what it could do. And then the risk is that you have been playing around in your own world and that you're very proud of what you created, but the world around you has actually raised the bar much higher, and you almost look like you're underperforming in that situation. And I think that is a risk that you don't see when you only act in your own world and you're proud of your own solutions, but that you only see when you get the feedback from your customers, and then it's probably too late.
Yeah, because you will spend a lot of time and money to get to that 60%.
Exactly.
If you want to do it all yourself.
Yeah,
it's interesting, because what you say is also raising the bar. In strategic plans around AI, the goal is always that AI at least takes over a full task from a human, right? In some plans, you want to replace the human completely, but at least a responsibility should move from human to AI. That only works if AI then completes their tasks to the fullest, to the 100%. And what happens right now, if AI completes a task to 60%, we are impressed as humans from the fact that it is even possible. But if you then want to roll it out, it will never work, because then the human still has to do the last 40%, and it becomes frustrating. If you look at other industries, I mean, you're only impressed with a self-driving car if it really drives himself. The first time that your Tesla parks itself, it's impressive, but it's not fundamentally changing the way you move around. It will change if it drives completely. And that's what we need in recruitment as well. AI should be completely responsible for tasks, and that's not possible if they perform at 60%.
Yeah. Well, that's actually interesting. That's an interesting mindset. Do we adopt AI? Is our goal to do something that's impressive and that can improve our process, or do we have the ambition to really make it change our company or our lives? I think even Sam Altman said it himself about ChatGPT, about 3.5, DaVinci 3.5. He said, it's super impressive, but it didn't change the world yet. So my ambition is, in the end, his ambition with OpenAI is to change the world. And he believes we're far from that. And they're building towards that. And that's maybe making it a little bit bigger. But you can almost say the ambition with the current technology that's at hand of an organization in recruiting can be to raise that bar pretty high at this point.
Yeah, and I think setting the bar should not be done based on technology, but based on humans. So AI
Yes.
needs to take over a human task. So the question is,
Yeah.
if you hand over a task to AI, imagine that
Yeah.
would be a human. Would you hire or fire that person? And if
Yeah.
it's fire, yeah,
Yeah.
then then the job was not done. It can still be
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
If you give my kids some paint, they will paint, and I will really be impressive by
Yeah.
what they do. But I won't allow them to paint the entire house. And that's what organizations need, something that can take on responsibility. And it's hard to get that if you build
Yeah.
it yourself with a little bit of
Yeah.
no-code solution. Still
Yeah.
impressive, it's not good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Okay, Barend, I think that's a good conclusion of this breakdown. And I want to thank you for that. So I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks.